was taken from me. Do you know what that feels like yet? An American torched the warehouse for insurance money, $11,000. That was the value they placed on her life. She was the reason for me to live. What about you, Khalid? What drives you? Is it me? Einstein once said that the economic anarchy of capitalism is the real source of evil. Your father and his people took Josefina from me. Pues, tu papá está muerto. Your father is dead. And his people. Finished.
Black Ops 7 takes place in the worst timeline. I am filming this at 5 a.m., so if you think I'm whispering, I am. I didn't make this realization until I ended the video. It's not even fair. Fuck it. You have to save Harper. And in the way they just tug on your balls with that. Oh, do you want to save the fun uncle? Right? And have him around? Well, guess what? That's going to fuck you. Or you save Fareed. So if you save Harper, nobody's there to take a bullet for Karma, right? And she can't crack the Solarium worm, right? Which means the entire military infrastructure, whatever, is compromised. And because Karma's not around, he breaks out of prison, finds Woods, and you have to watch him. Mind you, I forgot about this. I forgot this was even possible, right? So I had to go back and watch the ending where Menendez sticks the pendant of his burnt ass sister into Wood's neck and kills him, and then gets away with it. Throughout the video, some of my points kind of trail off the Menendez being alive, retconned, whatever, and so I can't cut it. So for the moments I do, I'm going to play a clip from the worst ending to remind myself of how bad my memory is. So what we're going to do, kind of our standard rundown of these things, we're going to go over the trailer, we're going to look up some more information through articles, and then we're going to hit some theories. So first things first, let's go ahead and get into the...
Raul Menendez ignited global unrest on an unprecedented scale.
Menendez is a terrorist. We're bringing peace and security to the world.
Along with that, we're also introduced to Guild, who seems to be the new, we're trying to help people, but for some reason we're still like one of the main antagonists or like the side antagonist. And they have robots, which I think, and this will come more in the theory part, I think is setting this game up to be more of a bridge between Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. And then Guild goes on with this definitely not antagonistic monologue at all of like, I want to bring peace and security to my new empire. They didn't say empire, they said world, but you know, it's kind of bar for bar, verse for verse from Star Wars. So maybe that's a tell. I'm thinking it is because it seems a little too on the nose to not be. I'm expecting some, you know, switcheroos there. Guild is also the manufacturer of the robots, as we see throughout the trailer. They have a Guild stamped on their chest piece, so, you know, kind of one-to-one right there. And speaking of robots, there's also like a little flash, like a little scene of this big robot. So maybe they're going to bring back boss fights like I believe they did in Infinite Warfare. Probably welcome addition. A lot of people like that, so I could see them bringing that back.
Refuses to let me go.
Stop looking backwards, David. What matters is what we do next.
A lot of people counting on us for answers.
Now, one of the main gimmicks that I think this campaign is going to have is the Scarecrow gas slash Cradle gas slash Nova 6 gas. We'll call it Nova 6, right? Just to kind of keep the playing field level here with the terminology.
Inspector 1, report. Need a sit rep.
This isn't real. The hell it ain't!
And then there's a montage of a bunch of like maps that you're going to be seeing. There's Avalon, which is apparently one of the first places they go to like investigate the Kickstarter of the whole campaign. But then there's also some places we've been before, like Los Angeles, Nicaragua, Angola. But I think it'll be either like a revisit / you're going there, but it's like you see new enemies, or I'm thinking it could be like a flashback thing, because with Black Ops 2, they did do the dual storyline with Mason and Woods, and then basically like Mason, Harper, Salazar, Briggs, and the whole new crew continuing the storyline in the future. So it could either be flashback type of deal, but based on what we saw, it looked like the new guys, so I don't think it'll be flashbacks. And some of the maps look like they could just be sort of normal. Others, like Los Angeles, looked distorted, and also with Nicaragua as well. So maybe the not Scarecrow gas, maybe the Nova 6 gas is going to be that gimmick throughout the campaign, where the level you get hit in it is like purely psychedelic after that, and then in the levels to follow, it's more like it'll pop up at certain times again, right? And then throughout the whole thing, it's going to be like a "are you good, are you alright" thing, sort of how they did in Black Ops 3. Actually, the guild lady, I believe, says it's time to wake up. And one of the repeated voice lines in Black Ops 3 was like the little
Hey, still with us?
"are you with me" type deals. So again, that could be something, and it could also be another point confirming towards like trying to bridge the gap between Black Ops 2 and 3, because the way they just raw dogged that in real time when 3 came out was pretty insane. The last point I kind of want to touch on with this Nova 6 gas thing is that it seems like in COD in general, we're really hitting missiles and gas a lot. I get that Nova 6 gas is like a main concrete, checkpoint within the Black Ops series. So I'm not saying like for Black Ops we got to go this whole different direction, considering the last game had it too, Black Ops 6, and I'm pretty sure they're related. They call it Cradle. This is Nova 6, so I'm assuming they're related. It's got to be. Maybe in future games with other sub-stories of the franchise that we do. Let's try to move away from missiles and gas. So in these little map showcase parts where it's like, oh, we're going to Avalon, Angola, Nicaragua, so on and so forth, you see advanced movement, grapple hooking, and wall running. Now, we've had advanced movement in COD before. Advanced Warfare, actually we've had it in Black Ops 2 a little bit. They had like some sort of maglows, but they could use them on like rocks and regular like terrain and earth, right? And then in Advanced Warfare, they also had maglows. I'm pretty sure there was like little dash exosuit variants and all that sort of stuff, right? So in this case, what were the flaws of the advanced movement before? Quite restrictive. It was pretty much only in the campaign where they wanted you to use it. Hopefully, if they're following what people want, give us the advanced movement and give us, first of all, maps built for it, and then the freedom to actually use it. And I think people would be a lot happier with that. Wrapping up the trailer, shout out to that one dude who's like shooting a gun in this one shot, and he's either having a stroke or stroking it, but I can't really tell which one. There is also zombies that they show at the end of the trailer, but I'm not really a huge zombie guy, so I'm not really gonna go into detail. With that though, that kind of ends the trailer side of things, so now we're gonna look up some more stuff through the So on Activision's site, we can go and look at some of the details that goes over the general setting and some details that weren't like explicitly said within the trailer. We start off with the year is 2035 and the world's on the brink of chaos, ravaged by violent conflict and psychological warfare following the events of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Raul Menendez has returned with a chilling televised warning. As his threat rings out across the world, the Guild, a global tech giant, vows to step in and protect humanity. Menendez's warning, obviously, was the streets will be red with your blood again. And then you've got Guild saying that they're gonna step in and protect humanity because apparently every member of the UN can't stand up to Menendez again. Somehow he got off the radar and built up a gigantic terrorist organization again, and we're going for round 2, so that's pretty cool. Seeking his own answers, David Mason leads an elite JSOC team on a covert mission to the sprawling Mediterranean city of Avalon. While there, they discover a sophisticated plot that won't plunge the world into chaos. Oh, that... I was like, what are we here for? That won't just plunge the world into chaos. It will pull them into their own haunting pasts. And we did see some of that in the trailer with the flashbacks. I think because like Menendez was monologuing, and then we would see who I would believe to be David, like running around in his house. I think we're definitely going to get more plot on like David's childhood, especially with Alaska being one of the maps they put in the trailer. Alaska was one of the cutscenes that took place in Black Ops 1, where Alex and David were climbing a tree and David fell, and he's like, man, I wish I were at Mom's house. And then Alex is like, shut up. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 will immerse players into a reality-shattering gameplay experience, all built upon the signature foundation of what makes Black Ops so beloved. Launching worldwide on November 14th, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is available for pre-order, blah blah blah, secure early access to the open beta by pre-ordering or pre-purchasing, and all that. Article-wise, there's not really too much to glean that I don't think we could already get from the trailer, so we're just going to go ahead and head into the... First thing I want to touch on, like theory crafting wise, is the purpose of this game in the timeline. I think it's pretty safe to say, but whatever the case. So for Black Ops 1, it has 2 extension games that bridge the gap between Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, those being Cold War and Black Ops 6. And then now I think we're moving to Black Ops 2 and then the extension games off of that, hence Black Ops 7, and then we'll probably get a Black Ops 8 to bridge the gap between 2 and 3. I think that's where they're going with this, and if they did do that, I mean, it would make sense because like I said, the bridge to Black Ops 2 and 3 originally was pretty much non-existent. I remember watching the Actman's review of the game of 3, and Menendez was mentioned like maybe 2 or 3 times, and Nova Gas was like brought up a little, but other than that, it just had very little connection to its predecessor. So making some games to be like, all right, how did we go from Menendez as a global terrorist to Menendez and the entire cast and crew of the last game are nowhere to be found. There's also the dual storyline element of this. We did get those like flashbacks to when David was a kid, so there could be like a dual plot line here again with David being a kid, and then we're jumping back into the future, and maybe there's some more stuff that we didn't see in like Black Ops 2 with David and Menendez and how all that works. I'm really not sure. But then we also have like, it's easier to kill the idea or kill the man than the idea of the man, and then we get like flashbacks to Woods. So is that specifically for like, is that going to be a cutscene in the game where where those same words are said and it's like, oh yeah, we're just making that point? Or are we going to get flashbacks to like Mason and Woods time? I don't know. Of course, it's still too early to tell or to like make a solid opinion based off of that. But we could be looking at another dual storyline in that case, just like they did in Black Ops 2. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, either because Menendez either like slits Woods' throat with the pendant. You can either kill him, capture him, he slits Woods' throat with the pendant and then just like burns himself alive in Josefina's grave. God, I forgot about those 2 endings, to be honest with you. I'm also going to do the outro. Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, mainly kind of just Black Ops 2, because it almost feels like Black Ops 2 kind of has its own little self-contained thing, has so much like story and impact and just crossing story threads, and it just hit like so hard. Maybe best way to put it, right, is don't try to hit as hard as Black Ops 2 that you hit as soft as like Black Ops 3, right? Like I said, get a goal, make it make sense, execute. I think that's pretty good. And that is where I'm going to leave it.
Mason! You bastard! Fuck! Menendez!
Your best friend, Alex Mason, is dead. By your own hand. Do you understand?
He was gonna kill David.
Because you must suffer, as I have suffered. Murder me for Cordis, yeah.